Welcome to the world of dreams! Pokemon Dream Radar is a DLC for Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. Yeah, this early in the series. I think it qualifies. It's a paid add-on that connects directly to it and unlocks new stuff. Today we're gonna be covering absolutely everything there is to do with this game. Let's get started. So you're the new researcher? I appreciate you coming along. I'm Burnett. I research dreams. Yeah, that Burnett. The Professor Burnett, who would later be a major character in Sun and Moon 5 years after this, she made her debut this early. This blew my freaking mind when I did research for this. I didn't know this was the case. I didn't really remember this game all that well, but yeah, it's kind of historically significant once you know that. As part of that research, I'm investigating a certain place. I'm really fascinated by something I saw there, the mystery Pokemon. Ah, it's Bigfoot, he can fly! So, I want you to help me with my research. What you think? Try tapping start search on the device in your hand. I need to apologize for how this is going to look. The video quality of this video ain't gonna be great. Okay, now we're ready. Let's be on our way. Yeah, so you can see the cables that I'm recording this with. It's an augmented reality game, meaning I gotta move the camera around in order to play this. So what you think? I had you diving in with that explanation, but right now you're looking at the space between dreams and reality. It's called the Interdream Zone. Let's start by having a look around. Move the Nintendo 3DS system around to look at your surroundings. If you're just, oh, here we go. Pikachu, you're holding out on me, man. It's a dream cloud. They materialize in different cycles and create energy, and what I'd like you to help me with is collecting that energy. I want you to gather the dream orbs made by dream clouds. So what you think? I'll tell you how to gather them. Could you align the crosshairs with the cloud in the center of the screen? With a cloud is in your sights, press A. Well, how about that? You're amazing. The beam isn't exactly easy to get a hang of, but not only were you blasting away with ease, but your aim was spot on too. Can you keep it up and hit the remaining clouds with the beam? Number of clouds next to the icon. Number of clouds left is next to the cloud icon on the touchscreen. Oh yeah, the orbs coming from the clouds are called dream orbs. To gather them, hit them with the beam. Use A, just like before. You didn't say what you think. Ooh. Gotta do this quickly, otherwise they disappear. You gotta have some, there's an art form to doing this. Ah, God. Okay. Where is there more? Oh, there we go. Okay, there's more. I'll do that one last real quick. So we're gonna just hit these three. And then, okay, there's two clouds. Two clouds. I wanna hit that one last. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh my God, you can see the recording window. Hi! This is gonna be so trippy, oh my gosh. I've never had to do anything like this. So 3DS camera quality ain't great. If you just really gotta have the best video quality possible out of your $3 3DS eShop game, the new 3DS has better camera quality than a regular 3DS, which I'm recording this on. Sometimes the Pokemon slip into the inner dream zone. Would you help it out? You have to catch it first. Use A to fire the beam and stall its movements. Then press A repeatedly. Keep hitting it with the beam until the meter fills up. If you take too much time, it will run away. Here we go. Oh God. We get unlimited time on this, thankfully. They're forgiving, so you just get on it, you hold down the A button. Oh God. It is so hard to move around with this tethered down to multiple cables for the recording. Okay, holding it down, holding it down, holding it down. Keeping it in the frame. Just gotta keep the earth in the window. Go, 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 go. Oh God, you can see my light fixtures. Please, get back here. I'm gonna have to do boss fights in this thing, and I'm having this much trouble with the tutorial. Nope. Come on. Got it, got it, got it, got it. Our reward is Muna. If you catch a Pokemon, I want it to return to the real world. Could you send the Pokemon you catch to the trainer you trust most? Pokemon and items can be sent. After you finish your search, select Send Research Data. Oh? What was that? That Pokemon just now, that's it! Wow, encountering it on your first search is just amazing! That is the mystery Pokemon I've been looking for! The search is concluded, returning to the research lab. Great work! I'm so happy to have met you. I really want your help. First, let's collect the dream orbs I need for my research. Dream clouds usually appear at a rate of 1 every 5 minutes. They don't form while you're researching though. So visit the interdream zone after many clouds have appeared. So, what you think? I'll be counting on you from here on out. After completing a round, our cloud count goes down to 1 every single time. You might be thinking that, oh, well, if we got a cloud count of 1 by default, we could just keep playing this as often as we like. And, you know, you're correct. Kind of. If we go out, we start searching again, I only got this cloud. I just got this 1, and all it did was give me 1 orb, and now the search is concluded. The longer we wait, the better chances there are of being a dark cloud, which is what gives you the actual rewards for playing this beyond just orbs. If we were to go to the development lab, however, we're able to spend our orbs, which we theoretically have an unlimited supply of, but please do not grind this by just playing 1 orb rounds over and over again. It's maddening. I apologize for the strong language I'm about to use here, but it's really best played like a mobile game. Since we can carry a maximum of 10 clouds and it takes 5 minutes for them to respawn, it is optimal to play this every 45 minutes. She can sell us various upgrades. The beam upgrade lets us knock out more health quicker on these Pokemon. I don't feel like I need this much. An energy upgrade increases the amount of time for catching the Pokemon. This one's pretty useless. I don't think I've ever run out of time when catching a Pokemon before. Time limits are very forgiving because they understood that people were gonna have issues with the gyro controls and need to recalibrate from time to time. Scope upgrade increases the number of dream clouds that could be found. I would recommend this as your biggest priority, as the more and more dream clouds you have, the better chance you have of it being something good. A vortex charge holds the Pokemon in place, making them easy to catch. That's a usable item. A dragnet charge slows down a Pokemon movements temporarily, and an energy recharge restores energy spent while catching a Pokemon. Really, the vortex charge is just the best one, and it's more expensive to reflect that. From the title screen, we may send over anything that we've gotten during an expedition. Be these up to 6 Pokemon and up to 6 items. Ooh, it's like you're in the teleporter room or something. Research data was sent. Receive it by selecting Unova link in Pokemon White 2's main menu. That's interesting, it calls it White 2 and not White version 2. They dropped the word version from X and Y, but I guess this is a rare official instance of them dropping the word version from titles before that. It's really easier to say I'm the only one who cares about this sort of thing. Unova link! Nintendo 3DS link. Receive research data from the 3DS download software, Pokemon Dream Radar. The Pokemon and items that are received will automatically be sent to the PC box or to the bag. Do you have any idea how hard it is for me to not talk to this guy because the video just isn't about that? The things I do for you people. We'll go into the we'll go to Amanita's PC. Swablu. Why did I say Swablu? No, it's Muna. How did I Swablu? Maybe the PC box triggered a thing on mine. I don't know. Muna. And all Pokemon obtained through Pokemon Dream Radar will always come inside of a Dream Ball, a type of Pokeball that's rather elusive these days. The Dream World shut down, so you can't get them that way. The 3DS eShop shut down, so you can't download Dream Radar anymore. So, yeah, these things are quite rare and are hardly ever made obtainable in any good capacity, and so they're considered somewhat desirable among collectors, and if you happen to have access to ways of getting Pokemon in them, could be a good way to trade for things you want. Ouch, I just noticed you have a plus attack nature. And we're gonna go over every single new Pokemon that can be obtained through the Dream Radar. Pokemon obtained through Dream Radar will always have their hidden ability. In this case, Muna has telepathy. Battles that are more than one-on-one aren't very common when taking the journey into account, but I suppose it'll at least help with tanking sometimes. Muna's not a Pokemon that can be caught during the main story, so if you just gotta have a Muna and you don't like the fact that you have to level it up so much in order to get its moves, this could be a good way to go about it. Speaking of which, levels actually scale with number of badges obtained. These Pokemon would always be level 5 if we were at the beginning of our journey. The only requirements to use Pokemon Dream Radar at all are that you A, own Dream Radar, and B, have a Pokedex in your save file. It's that easy. And because the download title, you could theoretically borrow a 3DS from a friend, put it in their system, play Dream Radar, and there you go. All of that time, and we only got up to 3 clouds, currently working on a 4th. But what if we don't want to wait 45 minutes? Play coin. Oh. I need 5 play. I'm sorry, I don't take my recording unit out walking with me very often. Just don't want it to get scuffed, okay? Well, play coins make this game work a lot quicker, where you can force maximum dream clouds with 5 play coins, but it's limited to only 3 times a day. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret that's gonna make your time so much better here. And it's so stupid that this is the case. I'm just gonna change my clock to an hour from now. Join Avenue be damned. The clouds may not be so easily fooled, but the play coins will be. You can cheat the clock, keep shaking your system up and down, get as many play coins as you wish, and get around the daily limits. That's right. The little baby technologically inferior DS game won't take any of your clock changing bullcrap. But this 3DS enhanced DLC is fooled by it just fine. All right, I'm back from walking my 3DS. 2011 was a very different time. I got 10 play coins, I'm gonna spend 5 of them. And we're gonna start our search. I didn't even get a Pokemon for all that. I had over 100 seconds left when I caught whatever this is. That's what I mean by the upgrades not meaning that much. Drifloon! The retrieval extension was added. Now when we go to start search, we have the option to spend 100 orbs to play a mode that makes it more easy to find Pokemon. I like. The order to go in is buy scope upgrades so that you get more clouds and thus more orbs every time you go out. Use the extensions here to make Pokemon more frequent and essentially use your orbs to buy more orbs. Number of total orbs is what determines story progress and is how you're going to beat this game. Now that we have a way of easily encountering lots of Pokemon, let's get on to the Pokemon themselves. We start off only being able to find pink and green orbs. Encounters are based on the color of orb you have the most of since capturing your last Pokemon. If you're running into the same Pokemon over and over again, just collect a different orb color. If it's just not coming naturally, this is a valid use for playing with one cloud. Just start up with one cloud, shoot the color of orb that it corresponds to the Pokemon that you want, get kicked out, and then the next time that you go in and you have a dark cloud, just immediately hit the dark cloud and there you go. It'll be from that pool. From the pink pool, aside from Munna, we have Swablu with Cloud 9. It's really cute actually, its cloud protects it. This can be caught normally in Abundant Shrine and is not exclusive to this mode. Swablu can take quite a few hits and immunity to weather really can't hurt it in any way, shape, or form. I prefer Natural Cure, but weather canceling is rare and this is a valid role for a Pokemon to play. Riolu with Prankster. This is exclusive to Dream Radar. An attacker with buffing moves. But the status moves that you'd want on it are things like Swords Dance and Calm Mind, which honestly, not that important to force priority on, given that you have to wait another turn and your speed applies on that turn anyway. Prankster is really better for starting off a turn with defensive buffs or a status, which Riolu doesn't use. I'd say you're better off just being immune to flinch. Sigilif with Tinted Lens is exclusive to Dream Radar. A special attacker that we know all too well, with tons of moves and multiple viable movesets. It doesn't really care about doubling not very effective damage because it can learn moves for any battle. The alternative for Sigilif is only taking damage from direct attacks with Magic Guard, which is one of the best abilities in the game. I say catch this one outside of Dream Radar. Drifloon with Flare Boost, something nice and nuanced we finally get to talk about. Drifloon family is the only Pokemon to have this ability, and in White 2, we get a free Flame Orb from Reversal Mountain. If it's already burned, it's immune to the other 4 main statuses in addition to the benefit it sees from that ability. This thing is cool. I would recommend this if you've never tried it before and just need a ghost type. I like unique abilities, and this one's clever for it being a hot air balloon and everything. It's not even necessary to have access to Dream Radar. This is rarely found in hidden grottos in the regular game, too. Swimming in that radioactive green pool is Wigglytuff with Friend Guard. Again, battles involving 2 or more Pokemon aren't really common enough to justify dedicating a whole team member to it. However, this one's kind of special. This ability turns into Frisk as soon as it evolves into Wigglytuff, and identifying the foe's held item is actually a little nice. I don't know if I'd recommend it outright, but it's better than some of the Dream Denizens so far. Shuckle with Contrary. It makes Shell Smash increase defense and special defense, then sharply lower attack, special attack, and speed. Next. As for the items, you can get any color of shard, PP-ups, Lepa berries, and revives available from the beginning. Upon certain story milestones, more items will unlock. And we're back! She has finished an extension. With that, we'll be able to find the mystery Pokemon. The Eureka extension Alpha will be added after 400 cumulative orbs. Costs no orbs to play, we can just go straight in. Oh, that's cool. It's funny because I feel like this is a largely not talked about aspect of Pokemon, yet the sheer amount of damage this DLC did to competitive Pokemon for over a decade and still going is unreal. Tornadus was caught. I recommended getting orbs fast because Tornadus is OP. First off, about this Pokemon itself, I should tell you that Tornadus is in its Therian form, a new transformation with a new ability and new stats. This form has no hidden ability, so any Tornadus could eventually become this form if transferred in. Now that the novelty's worn off, it's notable for being the only pure flying type Pokemon, granting it multiple helpful resistances and an immunity to ground as always. Regenerator's a great ability, allowing it to have multiple go-arounds in the same fight. That speed is unreal, undoubtedly one of the fastest Pokemon ever. Those are all good pluses, but unfortunately, I can't say its good offense really goes to much use. A lot of the good moves it learns aren't readily available, so it winds up just using Air Cutter and Extra Sensory until some very high levels. In fact, the main things it's known for, Hurricane and Rain Dance, won't even be unlocked until around level 70. Taunt together with its speed was probably the thing it was most loved for back in the day, but even then, that's one of the last TMs that could be found. It got dealt a pretty rotten hand with move availability, so it might be good adding this to your team a bit later in the playthrough rather than trying to get it at level 5. I'd recommend it for people who intend to get very high into the levels and do absolutely everything. This is the only way to obtain this legendary Pokemon in Black 2 and White 2. Yeah, it was shut down with eShop. I never would have guessed the mystery Pokemon was Tornadus. I just did a lot of research on that Tornadus in the span of 5 seconds. The reason it looks different than it does in the real world is it changed its form A to match the environment. I can't stand the whole Form A thing. Just call it form, don't get fancy with it. I know that there's a distinction though, but when speaking it out loud, you would never know that. There's Therian forms of Thundurus and Landorus as well. I'll get you extensions to let you meet those two. I need a lot of Dream Orbs, but you're here, so I'm not worried. I'm counting on you. Keep up the good work. After beating Tornadus, the item drops update to contain the Sunstone, Moonstone, and Max Revive. To make the next big fight, we're gonna need 1,000 total orbs. I completed the extension. With this, you should be able to find a Therian form Pokemon, or Therian Form A. I don't know why they spell it with an E, sometimes not with others. Man, it's freaking stupid, just call it form, no Form A or whatever it is. If you cut Tornadus, I'm sure you'll succeed this time too. Good luck. The Eureka extension beta was added. Costs nothing for us to try this. All that matters is that we've just got enough orbs to unlock it. Start searching. All right, let's do it. Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding? Where are you? Where are you? Here we go! Thundurus! I thought we'd try out our new tools. So I'm gonna use this, suck you in. Come on, suck, 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 suck! Okay, get a lot of free health there. Just zips around faster. It's not really any more challenging or all that different from fighting a Pokemon normally. How about this? We'll slow down time. I never use these because it's so easy anyway though, but I wanted to at least show them once. Crap, you're seeing my editing secrets. All right, so you can't suck and throw them in a net at the same time. It doesn't work like that. So you have to do one or the other. If you're in the middle of attacking, just write it out as long as you can't. Come here. There we go. Come. There it is. Just keep it in the window. Keep it. Eventually, you get kind of a sixth sense for like how to tilt the system to get this to keep doing it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I still had 95 seconds left of that. I haven't upgraded my beam even once, or the timer. Do 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 do. Thunderous was caught. It's Thunderous's turn to transform. An electric flying type, which is pretty darn good and unusual. And that ability makes it even better. This is a Pokemon who's just a nice choice to switch into in most battles to gain the upper hand. This transformation trades a little bit of attack and a little bit of speed to become a special nuke, which it's pretty good at. This thing wants to learn Thunderbolt, no way around that. Unfortunately, it's going to wind up using Shockwave for a while until that actually becomes available. Volt Switch and Discharge are other options, which isn't horrible, but it's certainly something worth knowing. The one thing I want to give it huge points on is being able to actually make good use of agility due to just having pretty good speed and not amazing speed. Big points on that because almost everything that learns agility has no need to spend a turn on using it because they're fast enough. Thunderous, you break away from the norms. I like. What you just caught now is the Therian Forme Thunderous. What a foreboding appearance. I don't know, I always thought Thunderous looked kind of weird. Like it looks all muscular, yet it's also flying. I don't know. A part of unlocking the mystery is the Inter Dream Zone. I'm working on an extension to find Landorus, but I need Dream Orbs. I'm counting on you. We're going to need 1,600 more Dream Orbs to unlock the next extension. Along the way, there's a lot for us to catch. After defeating Thunderous, Pokemon may now drop Fire Stones, Water Stones, Thunder Stones, and Leaf Stones. And now orbs can be orange, corresponding to 4 new Pokemon to catch. Staryu with Analytic. Finally, an ability that's interesting. Staryu is one of the fastest Pokemon still capable of evolving, and Starmie is very fast, so it won't activate very much. It's just a really clutch ability whenever the foe has a priority move or somehow outspeeds it. Natural Cure is a great ability too though, so really either is helpful at least some of the time. Porygon with Analytic. Here's the first one that is outright good. It requires a bit of explanation though. Porygon evolves twice. Porygon 2 is a tank while Porygon Z is a sweeper. So each serves a completely different purpose. Many Porygon trainers prefer to just evolve into Porygon 2 and no further. With Analytic, combined with its low speed, tankiness, and holding the Eviolite since it's not fully evolved, yeah, this one's really sweet and gets an outright recommendation from me. Ralts with Telepathy, not helpful outside of like 20 fights. Bronzor with Heavy Metal. This is not exclusive to this mode and can be gotten normally from Abundant Shrine. All this does is give Bronzor an additional weakness in exchange for a stronger Heavy Slam. Is it worth it? But it's not horribly weak compared to what you'd expect from a defensive psychic type, I guess. 1,600 Dream Orbs later, sentimental stuff makes me a little embarrassed. I mean, you're one of my teammates, and you're very important to me. Okay, I'm counting on you. See you when you get back. The Eureka Extension Gamma was added. Eureka Extension Y! I know it says Gamma. After collecting 3,000 orbs, we've unlocked the final boss. Damage to the competitive scene aside, I overall like the Therians. Whoa, oh, that was cool. I've kind of voiced not really being the biggest fan of this trio in their prior appearance where they were just the same sprite traced 3 times. I didn't like that. And even if I think Thunderous looks a little weird, I at least appreciate that they all have more of an identity this time around. I think they kind of knew that it was a little lame how it was just the same guy 3 times before. So I appreciate these forms for them bringing some much needed uniqueness to these 3. Landorus, or Landorus as I like to call you. Get over here. Oh, Yo, okay. Moved a little too fast there. I haven't been moving fast enough, though now I'm moving too fast to compensate. You just gotta keep it in the frame. Go. It's kind of weird. I know that I don't need the beam upgrades, but I find myself sometimes wishing I had it so I wouldn't have to line up my shot so much. Also, holding A is so much better than tapping A. When I could do that, I could make so many more. And like, you're firing so much more than you aren't that you're going to land your mark anyway. There I was holding A and I got Landorus just fine. Landorus was caught. Landorus is intimidating. This might just be the best Pokemon as of this point in the series for competitive double battles. It has the best of everything. Good speed, extreme attack, stab Earthquake, immunity to Earthquake from other Pokemon and electric types, access to Rock Slide, and then Intimidate makes it actually take damage pretty well. Even in singles, these traits are all powerhouses, so don't treat it like it's invalid just because it's even better in doubles. With 2 immunities, it can get multiple go-arounds in the same game, using that Intimidate better than most other Pokemon. Really, this is the closest creature to being a perfect Pokemon we've seen. There's a case to be made out there for there being no outright counter to it. Landorus is even good at countering itself. Anytime a potential weakness comes up, there's always some counter argument like, well, it can Intimidate to survive an Ice Punch and hit back with a Rock Slide, or just outspeed an Ice type. Just play it smart and it will almost never lose. This Pokemon is amazing. The sheer amount of damage this DLC did to competitive Pokemon for over a decade is unreal. The search is concluded, returning to the research lab. This is the first time I didn't get every single Pokemon possible for it. Excellent work. Therian form Landorus. I can barely take my eyes off it. What's more, researching these 3 Pokemon will not only teach us much more about the inner dream zone, it will also shed light on many mysteries in the real world as well. It might change everything we know about dreams and reality. Well, don't get too ahead of yourself there. What you found may be a clue about a new dimension. This is a discovery for the history books. My research is going to get even more interesting. You've really gone above and beyond for me. But I'd be really happy if you'd come help whenever you have a little time. Like during breaks, from your research or something like that. I mean, no other researcher civic instincts as good as yours. What'd you think? I can't wait to see what you'll help me discover next. Foreshadowing to the events of Sun and Moon. I've never seen the ending of this game before, so I didn't know that she did that, talking about you discovering another dimension or, you know, possibly opening the gateway to one. That ends up being really important later on. So, this game's all right. I wouldn't say that it's amazing or anything, but for a $3 game, they certainly went harder on it than I think they needed to, and it gave me something to do over the last several days whenever I was just kind of sitting around and wasn't really sure what I wanted to do in game next or what I wanted to play. It allowed me to make little bits of progress here and there just every few hours, and maybe between editing sessions, it was a way I could have a little fun while I was waiting on a render. I gotta say, it was a pretty good time. Gosh, fighting Landorus again reminds me of just how Landorus was everywhere in this era of Pokemon. I went to Worlds that year, and I remember just every match had to have a Landorus in it. Even into Gen 6 it continued. And I remember that in these years, it was even good in the TCG around the same time. The one that knew Hammerhead for 1 energy, that card was everywhere. It was just, you couldn't escape Landorus. I had a meme with my friends where we posed like Woody and Buzz Lightyear and went Landorus, Landorus everywhere, over everything, and I had to include it in this video because it was, we talked about that for years after the fact. It was nuts how it was just inescapable in competitive Pokemon no matter what you were playing. Oh, but we're not done yet. After we finish this, Dream Radar has a post-game, and it's surprisingly sizable. Wow, there's a credits option right there on the main menu. I guess they really wanted credit for it. I mean, if I worked on a Pokemon game, even if it was a spin-off, I'd probably be really proud of myself. I made this so we can research the traits of Tornadus and the others. We like to use them, and like any other search extension, they need a lot of Dream Orbs to operate, though. Simulator Alpha and Simulator Beta, Simulator Gamma were added, allowing us to replay the boss fights for a nominal fee. Well, oh wow, it's in black and white because this is a memory. Oh, and thematic with the game. That makes sense. I say things out loud and then I realize them. Happens a lot. If only I could think that well inside of my own head. I don't like having to twist so much to hit you. Oh my god, you're terrible. I physically cannot twist that far. I am on my back to... Oh my god. This is how I'm having to play this. It's terrible. I couldn't beat it. I lost. Tornadus ran away. Surges can click. That's it. That's all you get. Huh? Felt like space got a little distorted right now. Screw you. Well, the good news is we didn't miss out on getting another Tornadus. You don't get the Pokemon again from this. Instead, they drop a random item from certain pools. Here's what those are right now. There's good stuff in there, like additional Eviolites, rare candies, life orbs, even heart scales. After we defeat Landorus, blue orbs unlock, and as a result, Pokemon related to them. Togepi with Super Luck doesn't learn even one high critical hit move. Serene Grace is too good to ignore. Smoochum with Hydration. Hydration's a great, rarely seen ability, but that's not the best part. Upon evolution, it turns into Dry Skin. This is a good and still very well-liked ability for Jinx. Makes it switch in more often and shut down Pokemon with Aqua Jet pretty nicely. Spiritomb with Infiltrator. Either ability is good, but I'm tempted to say that Infiltrator is nicer in versus while Pressure is better in single player. Either way, this was by far the easiest way to obtain a Spiritomb and the most repeatable back in the day. So if you just gotta have a Spiritomb on your Nintendo DS, this is the way for you. And last up, Rotom. Rotom has no hidden ability, so it just has Levitate as an electric type. I'll just say it's good, really good. Around Opelucid City, its alternate forms became available too. And as for the items from Blue Orbs, you can freely farm Sacred Ash, which is a Pokemon Center in the form of an item, and rare candies. If you're ever bored, got nothing else better to do, why not hop into the Dream Radar, see what happens. With Blue Orbs and that trick to always get the color that you want for the Dark Clouds, you might as well try. After sending Landorus to your game and receiving it in said game, I missed that part, and so I got very confused as to why this wasn't working. We now have the ability to play secret levels. The game never tells you about these, and as far as I'm aware, they only ever revealed how to unlock these in Japan. I talked to quite a few people, including Sarah B. Joe, and he thinks these secret levels were just hacked by the fans, and that's how we know how to get them because they never told us to do it, and yeah, I guess it is kind of like them to expect the fans to do everything. So, on the main menu, press up, right, down, left, X, R, L. The special extension A is ready to go. I made it when the idea popped into my head while playing with magnets. If you'd like, give it a try. I don't know why she sounds like Patrick Warburton when I'm trying to sound all seductive and stuff, but she sounds like my kind of girl if that's how she does. Special extension A has got 2 Dark Clouds for us. Blue. I need blue. Ugh, I want blue orbs so badly now. I guess you could say I have the blorbs. There it is. There it is. Here we go. Oh, that's so much better. That health was going up nowhere near that fast against the Tornadus rematch. Go, 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 go! Yeah! The stage is repeatable as often as you'd like and always contains the same Pokemon. Beldum with Light Metal. Why in the mother of Looker is this a thing? Clear Body is practically Beldum's whole identity other than agility sweeping, and it's being given up for less damage from Grass Knot. Okay, I guess you got Low Kick in there too, but you're also making your own Heavy Slam worse and making yourself more weak against Heat Crash. Not even remotely as good as immunity to stat lowering. Just skip it, man. You can do better. When I counted them, I found you gathered 3,102 Dream Orbs. Wow, I have no life. Next up, we're gonna press up, down, left, right, Y, R, L. That didn't work. Up, down, right, left, Y, R, L. Huh, okay. While I was cleaning my drawer, I found the special extension. Do you want to be telling us about this drawer? I made this extension a while back, but if you want to, I'll give it a try. Special extension B, just like before, it's free to play, infinitely repeatable as long as you know the code. These codes are different in Japan versus everywhere else, so just letting you know that might be a version difference that could affect you. Again, makes it even more egregious that they never told us how to do this. Our reward is... Slowpoke with Regenerator. Either evolution wants Regenerator for its ability. This is downright overpowered, allowing them to just tank multiple times in one game. Remember, the healing happens upon returning to its Pokeball, so it prevents you from having to use items in single player. It's just so good for it, and constantly gives it a respectable sponge against a lot of switch-in attacks. I'll throw in a friendly reminder with this one to never use Eviolite on Slowbro. That's a common mistake that I've even seen show up on official competitive ladders. Don't do that, man. Last up, we press RLY, X left right, YX. Hey, guess what? I just found the special extension C. I think I might be researching in the rotation of the planet all the time. If you'd like, try it during your next search. Try researching the rotations of the planet while I'm playing an augmented reality game? No thanks, I'll pass. Wait. Oh, she meant try out the extension during it. She was doing a thing. I'm sorry, these sciencey folks are too much for me. Perfect! Almost. I think I messed up right at the very beginning, but then I did the other 95% perfect! Hoot Hoot with tinted lens. The Hoot Hoot family's offense is pretty meek. Even with it learning a lot of special moves, it just doesn't have the stats for it. Hoot Hoot is certainly unique, but its greatest asset is using special moves and special walling. After obtaining the Great Landorus, we take him to Abundant Shrine.
Wow, what an awesome trainer! That Pokemon you're traveling with is Landorus in Therian form! Long time ago, Tornadus and Thunderous started a rampage in Therian form. When everybody thought the Unova region would be ruined and gave up hope, Landorus, also in Therian form, appeared out of nowhere and stopped them. That's what they say. Oh hey, wait a second. This has been a place in the shrine. Take this.
Damn, I forgot that thing got the Curem treatment. That was treated as a super important reveal. Glass. No pun intended at the beginning of the sentence. They say the real glass brings Thunderous, Tornadus, and Landorus back to their original appearance. However, I don't know whether Incarnate form or Therian form is their true form, eh? Giving these a quick look before we transform them, they always have the abilities Regenerator, Volt Absorb, and Intimidate no matter what. Therian forms do not have hidden abilities. A glass that reveals the truth. It is a mysterious glass that returns a Pokemon back to its original shape. But the question is, if it can flip them both ways, which one is the original shape? Oh, that's super neat. I didn't know that had a special effect on it. I've never really done this before. Whoosh. Puff of smoke to turn them into a genie. I am so sorry to gimp you like this, but it was necessary for the good of competitive Pokemon. If we check them now, Tornadus has Defiant, which is its hidden ability. Therians don't have hidden abilities, but these ones do, Defiant and Sheer Force. Landorus, of course, has Intimidate in its Therian form, and its regular ability is Sand Force. You'd rather have Intimidate basically always, and Therian form Landorus is way too good to ignore and use this weaker body. Thunderous would have had Prankster or Volt Absorb, and again, it's a little hard to justify. I think that if you're gonna use this one, you're gonna use one of those two abilities. They're both great, but Defiant is just kind of the worst of the three. And Tornadus, you would have Prankster or Regenerator. Defiant's an awesome ability. Sure is. I would not for a second say that this is a bad option. It's just that in all three cases, the other two abilities are so good that Defiant on these guys is awesome but outclassed. It kind of sucks to say, but the Reveal Glass is not an item that I think that you would really care to use on these guys. And even if you do like the Incarnate forms, the regular abilities just tend to be more useful. Mechanically, something you should know about Pokemon Dream Radar is that no Pokemon from it will ever be shiny. It is technically possible to get the Therians as shiny by simply catching them shiny in the wild in black and white, transferring them in, and then using the Reveal Glass on them, but they can never have the hidden ability and be shiny at once, and that is a lot of steps to jump through to get shiny versions of these guys. So I'm gonna say they're essentially 99.999% impossible to see in regular gameplay. So here's the shiny Therians, if you're curious. For our final talking point, oh no, guys, I wanted to play the game, but I got $3,000 all over my desk. How am I ever gonna? While we're here, we might as well pop in some of these cartridges into our DS and try to see what happens when we're playing this game. I had a sudden breakthrough and developed a new extension. I call it the temporal extension. Give it a try if you'd like. The temporal extension was added. We can play this for free anytime we'd like. This extension was made as part of an experiment about time. Please don't make me need the beam upgrade for this. I really don't want to buy another one. Inside of this dark cloud, oh boy, over here, over there, over where, over everywhere. Whoa, it is teleporting around like mad. And now it's splitting in two and then hitting me in the ears. And where, excuse me, where, how am I supposed to do this? Okay, there we go, we got it. All right, we did like a fifth of its health and we got so much time left. Oh, okay. We are good, we are good. We just caught Dialga. Without a doubt, Dialga is one of the most versatile Pokemon in existence, and it's been this way since the dawn of time. That type might be one of the best defensive ones around. Steel completely normalizes the weaknesses to Ice and Dragon, whereas Dragon removes Steel's fire weakness. It's a wondrous tank that's weak only to fighting and ground, plus can't even be poisoned. It can switch in so much because almost nothing one-shots it. Its speed is higher than most walls, so it has the capability to outspeed other walls, making it able to blast away those walls, while showing them how walling is really done. And that's just how it functions as a tank. Just look at those stats. It's incredible. Nothing bad in that whole set. It's a special nuke, and access to its moves aren't too bad, actually. It can live with Dragon Pulse, Power Gem, Earth Power, and Aura Sphere for early game moves if you want a low-level Dialga playthrough. Since it has no especially bad stat, there's also the possibility of teaching it Draco Meteor and then going physical once it's burned out its special stats. The last option is support. Be it Toxic, Stealth Rock, whatever. It's reliable at laying down all of these things. If there's some kind of whittling effect needed to slowly win a certain fight, Dialga is one of the most reliable Pokemon to get it off. Dialga has a signature move, Roar of Time, a 150 power special move that recharges the following turn. Don't use it unless you're playing on shift. That's the worst I can say about it. On top of this, Dialga has a signature item. You won't be finding it for an absurdly long time, but it's the Adamant Orb, increasing Dialga's Steel and Dragon type power by 20%. This is good, but most people prefer leftovers or on improving Dialga's speed even further, so it's not bad, it's just not that accessible, and other items could be better. However, this Dialga has its hidden ability, Telepathy, and it just isn't very useful. Especially when Dialga's defensiveness, it means that it actually likes having pressure normally. Slight loss, but there's really no role Dialga can't play. It's easy to slot into an existing roster and takes a powerful foe to put a dent in this metal. Would you believe me if I said there's another one of it, and this one's arguably even better? Palkia might just be a perfect Pokemon if Landorus isn't that already. Starting off, it's a downright dangerous attacker. It's just fast enough to outrun many things and just cuts down whatever stands in its way. I can't talk about its attacking prowess without talking about its signature move, which is one of the best moves in general. Spatial Rend, 100 power, 95% accuracy, special, and with a high critical rate. This just kind of deals with it due to Palkia's unbelievable special attack combined with same type attack bonus. It needs to level up to learn this move, which isn't bad. I just want to bring it up because it's a rare time where Palkia is obtained at a low enough level where that's a concern. Palkia has its own signature item, the Lustrous Orb, which buffs its dragon and water damage, much like Dialga's item. This is very late game, but is extremely helpful to its cause. Palkia can learn a fair few special moves outside of those types, but does it really need more than Spatial Rend, a good water move, and one other type for good measure? Now with stats like this, it doesn't. All of its stats are good, clearly, and it's only weak to Dragon with a resistance to Steel and quad resistances to Fire and Water. Beyond that, normal damage from everything. Super easy to remember and to use. It has no real weakness to be exploited and can slot well into any roster. Dialga was the versatile one. Palkia is just a really good attacker. If there's any last thing to say about it, it's that Palkia functions even better in rain. Powers up Surfer Hydro Pump, and this is one of the best Thunder users. Like, sheesh, you think you're doing enough damage already? Telepathy also happens to not be a very useful ability on it, since it also kind of likes having pressure due to foes having a hard time denting it. Every now and again, I like to quote Smoggin's humorous articles on competitive Pokemon, and I think their Gen 5 Palkia article says it best. Palkia is a dick. Giratina, the Pokemon of two faces. Saying this right away, the item necessary to transform it into its origin form and buff its ghost and dragon type damage is, you guessed it, not in the main story. I'll be treating Giratina like it's only available in its altered form as a result. This is an all-arounder with immunities to normal and fighting and use of Will-O-Wisp. That alone is excellent, and again, no especially bad stats anywhere. But I will say it's noticeably less great than its brothers from our dimension. It hits for a lot, just not a lot. As a bit of fun, it's a rare Pokemon that's weak to both of its own types, so you know exactly what to look out for. To avoid it being set up on when it just can't power through, some force switch moves like Dragon Tail could be kinda nice. Exclusive to Giratina is the move Shadow Force, a 120 power physical ghost move that takes a turn of invulnerability to charge up. Not great in versus due to announcing what it's doing next turn, but pretty strong otherwise. All around, probably the lowest point of the three, but still a force to be reckoned with. The sacred and beautiful Ho-Oh! This is a Pokemon that's radical at doing damage no matter the enemy. Its durable nature shouldn't be discounted either, with great HP and some of the greatest special defense around. Its signature move, Sacred Fire, is 100 power, 95% accuracy, with a 50% chance to burn. This is one of the best burns in the game and absolutely should be considered for any moveset. Even if that special attack stat isn't as godlike as its physical stat, you might as well fish for the burn if you don't know what else to do. It starts with Brave Bird at any level, an insanely good move for Ho-Oh with its flying type, 120 power, and recoil damage. It'll be using this move constantly, both because it's such a nuke and because of that ability. Regenerator is bar none the best ability for Ho-Oh to have. 1/3 of its great HP recovered every time it switches out is awesome, and downright broken if used in shift battles. Roost makes Ho-Oh get a second win almost perfectly in battles that bar items for a total of 83% of its health recovered. Ho-Oh even gets access to Earthquake, something not typical of fire or flying Pokemon. If there's anything negative I have to point out, it's the weakness to Rock, especially Stealth Rock completely nullifying that near perfect ability. But it's not like that'll show up outside of Versus. The last move I'd like to give special attention to is Sunny Day. It's so reliable at getting to move at least some of the time that it might as well lie it down if it gets the chance. Really a stellar Pokemon. And it's a fitting rival for... Lugia, King of the Sea! This is a tank of legendary proportions. Almost nothing gets through those defenses, and it boasts great speed for what it is, allowing it to hit at least fast enough and hard enough to blast away flimsier targets without the need to swap out for a dedicated attacker. The type has many weaknesses, and some bad ones at that. But it's not without helpful resistances and immunity to ground. I'd say it's a decent type after it all. Multiscale is an ability unique to only Lugia and Dragonite, and is one of the best abilities in the game. Of course, a wall would love having a damage reduction effect. For moves, Lugia has a pretty lacking starting move set, taking a while to get much of anything beyond extra sensory. Calm Mind is a natural fit, but isn't available until an eon passes. Speaking of waiting, Aeroblast is its answer to Ho-Oh's Sacred Fire, but it's sadly kind of a letdown. Its special flying type has 100 power and 95% accuracy, yet only 5 PP. That's downright horrible PP compared to moves of similar power, and all it gets in return is a raised critical hit chance, whereas Ho-Oh got one of the best burns. Palkia gets away with this when Lugia doesn't, simply because Palkia is an extreme nuke, while Lugia doesn't have a lot of oomph behind that hit. As a result, its neutral move is probably going to end up being Psychic rather than Flying, or making use of Rain to its advantage. All in all, one of the greatest tanks to rule the skies, but not much beyond that since it doesn't do well on offense, and it's in trouble if something else plays the stalling game against it. Have some kind of wall breaker who plays off its type well for those situations, and it'll do great. Understandably, these legendary extensions are not freely replayable, but all is not lost. Dream Radar is surprisingly easy to replay. Every 3DS game can just simply have its data deleted from system settings, and all you have to do is have a save file in Black 2 or White 2 in order to transfer Pokemon to it. If you ever want to do a fresh playthrough with a Dialga on your side, it's not so hard to do. They may not be level 5 for me due to story progress, but level 5 is not the lowest level one can get Dialga, Palkia, or Giratina at, as they're level 1 in Heart Gold Soul Silver through an event. This is the lowest level, however, for Ho-Oh and Lugia that can possibly be obtained. I'd also like to add that while some Pokemon like Ho-Oh, Giratina, and Dialga didn't get new sprites, some Pokemon like Lugia got wholly new sprites in Generation 5, and without transferring in a legendary Pokemon and seeing it on the other side of the field, you probably wouldn't ever know that. It's a shame too, because this is probably my favorite Lugia sprite. I am convinced that every copy of Pokemon Dream Radar is personalized. No, seriously. I could not get Togepi or Bronzor to spawn after weeks of playing, even though I was using their preferred orb type every single time that I played. After tons of failed attempts, I accidentally played with pink orbs and got 2 Bronzor on my first try, even though that's supposed to be a blue orb Pokemon. Similarly, I knew someone who couldn't get Smoochum to spawn after weeks of attempts, even though I got it effortlessly almost every time I tried, and I also watched a video of somebody who tried to do everything in Pokemon Dream Radar and they couldn't get Igglybuff to ever spawn, who was a constant spawn for me. So I'm convinced that every playthrough, the game picks 2 or 3 Pokemon that don't obey what their preferred orb type is according to the guides, but their unlocking time is at least consistent with what I've told you today. You want to see how many Pokemon I had to catch before I got one of everything? Yeah! It's like 5 boxes of this garbage. It's so much. I never thought I'd be so upset to have this many Spiritomb in a DS game. Good, you're a Jolly Nature, a plus Speed Nature on a Spiritomb. Ouch. Modest, that's kind of good. Yeah, Adam and Spiritomb. I'm just criticizing them all now. But yeah, I worked on this video for over a month, so I feel like rarity basically has to be seeded. Oh my god, I've unlocked boxes 9 through 16 because I have so many Pokemon now. That's really funny. You have to have 1 Pokemon in every box for that to happen, so it's not too hard to do, but the fact that I did it without even intending it, yeah. Also, now you know where that 120 box medal came from that I got a little while ago. And that's that. Everything you would ever want to know about Pokemon Dream Radar. Next time on Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, we're probably doing something with Waterfall. I don't know, because this is being recorded out of sequence and I haven't yet recorded the episode before this. See you guys then!